All right, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Garage Talk Sports. I'm Mills.
I'm Bobby.
And I'm Nick.
We're back in the garage with another episode 15. We've been at this for a good while now, so that's exciting stuff. This week's episode, we're going to talk some NFL news, MLB, and NBA playoffs. MLB, everything's kind of picking up now with that. NFL kind of slow. We're really talking Bears. So for those of you outside of Chicago, try to enjoy our input on it. We'll throw some questions out there as well for you guys, but we're going to jump right into our NFL talk with the Chicago Bears. Right now, the big break there is the Bears wanting to they put in a bid for the Arlington racetrack property. Yeah. So they're either playing a game with the city of Chicago about getting renovations for Soldier Field, or they're legit about moving on from Soldier Field and moving to Arlington Heights. You don't need to be in Chicago to understand, that's a big deal for this franchise.
Yeah, they've
huge direction change.
It's insane to even think of them leaving Soldier Field, but it seems like it's only good news if they do.
Yeah, no, that's my personal thoughts on it. I'm kind of ready for. I'm not the biggest fan of Soldier Field. Yes, it's historic. That's cool and everything, but it sucks. It's ugly. Outside of its location, there is nothing about that stadium that I enjoy.
Yeah,
I think its location is also dumb. Well, as a point of being in a big city, there is no metro stop to get to from the city there. It doesn't stop there. The tailgate parking lot is tiny and not really that close to the stadium. You go to
don't be saying that to Matt, man.
You go to Baltimore. You sit in the parking lot right next to the stadium. Right. It's like a 2-second walk if you're the first person in there. If you're in the Bears parking lot, you have to get there 5 hours before the game if you want a decent tailgating spot.
If you think of any football stadium, Cowboys, Kansas City, every team now is outside of the city. Phoenix or Arizona Cardinals. They're all outside of the city, and it's just
the Dallas Cowboys are in Arlington, Texas.
Yes, they are. So
it's put the Bears in Arlington Heights.
Yeah.
So I think it's time, honestly.
To your point, Nick, though, when I say it's in a cool location, I mean the view, the skyline, and being right on the lakefront is cool.
Yeah.
Fox, NBC, all of those stations love to get that shot of the city panning over it. But it's a pain in the ass to get to. Like you said, no public transit stops right there. So you have a little bit of a hike to get there. Tailgating, the tailgate lot is small. It sucks when you're trying to tailgate there. Most people that I know that tailgate don't even they just tailgate in some random parking lot where they can find.
I have never been to a Chicago Bears football game that I can remember. I don't know if I went when I was little. The only time I went to a football game there, I went to U of I versus Northwestern, and we had to walk 3/4 of a mile from the parking lot to get there because the other parking lot's premium parking, and it's mostly closed for non-Bears games. It just doesn't really make sense.
I'm not a big fan of the layout of the stadium.
I also don't like how the west side is the side that's more obstructed view out, and then the east side is more open. But the east side, you really can't see the water because you're looking up, and then the more they should have made the less obstructed view to the west. I don't know if that the sun or anything, but it's just
we can dive into how terrible the renovations were on that stadium to begin with.
Yeah, and
I think it's an ugly stadium. Personally, I think it looks ugly. It's the smallest stadium in the NFL by over 12,000 seats. Really, the Bears are going to have the smallest stadium by that much.
Yeah,
and one of the largest. I mean,
third largest
market. I'm not saying it's anything. It's Kansas City or Dallas, but Chicago is what, the third most populated city now.
It's the third largest market for sports and third most populated.
Yeah, I was just saying citywide. It's even if the Bears are a decent team, even if the Bears were trash and they had cheap tickets, being in such a high populated area, people are going to come.
Well, so Lori Lightfoot, they're trash. Yeah, that was her exact words.
Oh, man.
They should worry about getting wins this October.
Be relevant past October.
Which is very poor wording when you think a team's about to leave your city.
I think Lori Lightfoot is going to be the one to drive the Bears out of Chicago.
If she's gonna go to war with them, I don't think she's gonna win.
Yeah, she's definitely not gonna win that. They don't own the stadium. They're renting it, and You're not letting them do anything to it.
Right. They can't do renovations.
The only good thing about that is they don't pay for renovations. The city pays for renovations, but they also don't get to do whatever they want.
Yeah, but you got to think about how much is like their lease. It's probably insane.
Oh, yeah, I would imagine it is.
I don't know
But
the
they
details of the lease.
They can move to Arlington and they can have like a bear enclosure. Like let's just go crazy. And be, like,
what a freaking zoo!
Well, no, if you move to Arlington, the sky's the limit. You're talking, you could actually get
you
a
can
dome.
build a stadium from the ground up.
Yeah,
you can put it in a dome.
Yeah.
Which, if they add a dome to the city of Chicago, I promise you, a Super Bowl is hosted here.
Super Bowl, Final Four
in 2 years of that stadium being finished. Because how would they not capitalize on being able to finally host these kinds of tournaments and stuff inside the third largest market in the country?
Yeah,
it's outside the city, but it's time to move on from Soldier Field. I don't like it. Sucks.
I would be really pumped. I would like to see a dome opening, like kind of like Milwaukee, because like for my thing, playoff games, regular season games, if you're in a cold area, there should be snow on the ground if it's snowing outside. For Super Bowls, I want that to be as competitive as possible, to where it's like I don't want running backs dropping the ball because it's snowy, or quarterbacks not being able to throw or not being able to see. But for the regular season stuff, it's like playing sports inside in most situations is stupid. I like
basketball. I'm kidding.
I like
I'm just being a dick.
But I like for the fact that like if it's going to rain or torrential downpour, okay, game's not getting canceled. Field's going to be in better condition. It's not going to be as terrible as pretty much anytime it rains before a Bears game.
Yeah,
you're getting guys getting injuries. Saquon Barkley got hurt mostly because they said the footing wasn't good.
Well, yeah, Soldier Field is notorious for having terrible turf. It's always in bad condition because they host so many things at Soldier Field, and it's not artificial turf, so that grass gets beat up over time. The footing is bad. Just the surface of it's just not good. We see players get injured all the time, ankle injuries and stuff like that, playing at Soldier Field. It's a poorly designed stadium. I understand it's a staple and it looks cool outside of the renovations on it. When you just have the pillars, it's a cool looking stadium, but it's small. It sucks to get to.
It looks like a spaceship.
Parking's a piece of parking is
from like the 90s.
It's just, I'm all for them moving. Yeah. I understand it's no longer in Chicago, but to your point, Bobby, Dallas plays in Arlington.
Yeah.
Kansas City doesn't play right in Kansas City.
Yeah. And same thing with the Arizona Cardinals.
Play in Kansas City, but they don't play in the heart of the city.
Yeah, it's like
so. It's like they have like space. Like I like where Soldier Field's located, except for the fact that where Soldier Field is located so close to Lake Michigan, you kind of handcuff yourself with they can't really do crazy expansions because even if they say they own the city, like the stadium, the city can still limit to how much green space there is around, like because you can't build like that close to Lake Michigan, so it's still limited. Where you go to Arlington Heights, you can pretty much. I mean, you can
put a zoo.
Yeah, you can't do anything. Like you
there's so much potential with building from the ground up with the new stadium. Yeah, and you know what? I would like a dome stadium, and even if they decide to keep it outdoors still, they will at least be able to sit another 15,000 at least. Yeah. But the way stadiums are going now, it's probably going to be a retractable roof.
Yeah, retractable at least, I would say.
Yeah, you would think that they would. It's Chicago, man.
Yeah. Like they need, if they want to be able to.
You don't want to, hey, we're hosting the Super Bowl, and all of a sudden it's going to be negative 50 degrees when the Super Bowl is. It's like, oh, hey, maybe we.
If they want to bring in all this other national stuff, you got to put a roof over it.
Yeah.
I know some people, like we got someone in the comments, we need bear weather. Dude, stop with the bear weather stuff, man. I'm sick of hearing about these advantages the Bears have. They have lost more times in our lifetime at home than they have won. I don't want to hear about bear weather. It doesn't exist. Bear weather doesn't exist. All these players now come from like Florida, Alabama, Tennessee. They come from the South. Bear weather, it means nothing anymore.
Yeah, I would argue and say that's not entirely true because you definitely see teams that excel, like in New England and Buffalo, when teams go from warm states to go play them.
I know. I'm over-exaggerating just because of I'm over-exaggerating it, but the Bears, come on.
I think it's time to move on from Soldier Field.
We're acting like the Bears win games strictly because of the weather.
No,
they don't.
Yeah.
They don't win games strictly because of the weather. They went 3 years before they had a kicker who could kick in Soldier Field again. So I don't want
I mean, I'll say it's arguable, but that's because our offense has been terrible.
Those are like it's gonna
a
close game is gonna make or break by can a quarterback throw in the cold or not.
And I mean, we've lost games too. Cody Parkey.
Yeah, but I'm just saying when the Bears are getting blown out by 20 to Tom Brady coming from. I mean, he played in New England, but say a quarterback who's coming from a warm state, it's the cold's not going to affect them if we're losing by 20. Well, if it comes down to a last second kick and the quarterback has to try to move the ball, 60 yards down the field to get into good field position, okay, then it comes into play. But rarely has a Bears game when it's been cold in the city has it come to that. So that,
dude, I'm ready for Soldier Field to be done.
Rodgers wins in cold weather. I mean, yeah, it's because it's Aaron Rodgers. All
okay,
right?
Aaron Rodgers isn't on the Bears, Ryan.
Let me ask you a question. Did Jay Cutler win in cold weather? No, he did not. that answers that.
It's just, dude, the weather thing, it's overplayed. It's overdone. It's made people act like the weather is the 12th man for the Bears. It's not.
We definitely have lost more than we've won.
I'd say
until the Bears can field just a legitimate team that could win, the weather doesn't matter to me.
No.
Yeah.
When our offense players can put up more than 14 points in a dome and when it's hot out, when it's cold out, then we can start talking about the weather's a factor. But since our team for the past 5 years has averaged 16.5 points or less, I don't really care what the weather is.
It sounds to me like the weather's working against us. But, I digress.
I feel like the biggest thing for me is I want to see them move out of Soldier Field because I heard big talks that if the Bears move, the Sox are going to take their location to where Soldier Field is.
That would
play
be cool.
Against Michigan.
I don't think that's going to happen, though.
You never know. People never thought the Bears would be bidding on the Arlington racetrack.
The Sox went out
Lori
before they
Lightfoot
are
happened
because.
But okay, go on. Sorry, I haven't heard this before.
The Sox. I don't know who it is, if it's the owners of the team or if it's just people in that boardroom talking. They said they're very limited on what they can do with the space because they're kind of have space to move around, but also where they are, they're really close to highways. Their parking lots aren't great, and then they have a railroad right behind them. So it's kind of hard to do anything. They said a lot of people have complained about the stadium being faced the wrong way. Mm-hmm. Literally, when you sit at home plate and look out, you see nothing but sky. Whereas if it was turned a different way, you would be looking at the backdrop of the city. Mm-hmm. So they're saying hit home runs into Lake Michigan, like they kind of do in San Francisco. Right. I feel like that's one of the coolest things you can have.
Hidden into the bay, yeah.
And also, not saying that a football stadium is different than a baseball stadium. I feel like if you moved a baseball stadium, you could play with dimensions and you could fit some, longer parking.
You could do some stuff there.
And also
get guaranteed rate field off the name too.
And
such a terrible name.
I feel like if the Sox move to where Soldier Field is, they will keep Soldier Field because of all the stuff they have with veterans there. I feel like that name needs to stay. And I'm sad to see that go if the Bears move to Arlington Heights, just because that's so cool. It's where that's a way to honor veterans regardless throughout the whole season. So I hope that a team does move in there and keeps that same name.
Yeah.
And I feel like the Sox Stadium is, in my opinion, one of the most boring stadiums in MLB.
It is, to me, it is perfectly average.
It's okay when you
a stadium.
If you see baseball stadium picture in the dictionary or something, it's that. It's like Yankee Stadium.
Ryan, dude, your comments, man. Shit, that one broke. Okay. Stop. Big talking.
But it's just Yankee Stadium, and U.S. Cellular are the only. It's there's no crazy dimensions. There's no weird stuff. There's no cool stuff to look at. So it's just kind of it's a baseball stadium. I'm not going to complain. It does its job.
Dude, it's just if you went on to Stadium Builder on MLB The Show and just built one,
and just you said default, it's
right default. Boom, there it is. There's the G spot.
Not to throw any shade at the Cubs or anything, but Cubs also besides the Ivy Wall, it's stadium.
What are you talking about, man?
Wrigley is
what
not
are you
that
talking about?
Cool. It's just old.
The outside of the stadium is cool. How it's in the middle of a city, very much like Fenway. But Wrigley Field, besides having an Ivy Wall, what's special about it as a baseball stadium?
When you walk into it, it's history.
Okay, but I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the actual field, the actual playing surface where they play. It is a completely curved outfield.
They got the out like little parts out back.
Yeah. Oh, little crazy out parts. They have a stupid metal screen thing that just
exactly. That's Wrigley. That's what you get when you go to Wrigley. Get the fucking ivy.
Triggering Bobby. Oh my
goodness. Wrigley is historic. All right.
So is Soldier Field. Here we are hating on Soldier Field.
Okay, yeah, but they rebuilt. They literally like changed the whole.
Okay, Wrigley's historic, but Fenway is also historic, and I would argue that Fenway is 1,000 times cooler than Wrigley Field.
I mean, yeah, it's Fenway. They have a huge giant monster.
Okay, but your argument is Wrigley is historic.
Like, I'm not taking history away from Wrigley.
Dude, it's just way cooler when you walk in, man.
I've been there.
And sometimes when you get a seat, you're behind a metal pole and you can't even see the game at all.
All right, well, be a Cubs fan and know what seats not to buy. All right, what do you want me to tell you?
It shouldn't be an issue.
I feel like I feel like I buy an MLB ticket. I sit in a seat.
I should be able to see.
I can get the absolute worst ticket.
Oh yeah, right. The rooftops, Wrigley rooftops. Where can you go sit on rooftops?
I mean,
really,
going to the nosebleeds.
Washington, San Diego, Philadelphia.
Oh boy,
Boston. You could sit on top of the hotel. That's like even older than Wrigley Field. And
are you saying guaranteed rate field? Oh, all right. I didn't know.
Did we say guaranteed rate is a cool field?
I would argue that guaranteed rate is a low Wrigley on my
I thought we said.
I'm just saying
Wrigley
Field is not that high.
If my memory serves, we said it was boring. So you're not arguing against us on anything.
The coolest thing that Wrigley had.
On Wrigley. All right.
The coolest things that Wrigley had was the bullpen mounds were still in the field of play. That was crazy wild. And they're like, hey, you want to know what's something? We have a cool thing about our stadium. Let's get rid of it. That's what they did.
Well, here's the whole thing with Wrigley. They still could fit like 40,000 people in there. All right. And that's a decent amount for a baseball field.
No, it's decent amount of I'm just saying that
pretty standard.
It's not like they're like
listen,
10,000 under like the Bears.
The thing with Wrigley, it's kind of similar, my opinion on it, to Soldier Field. The location's cool. Like, it's cool that you're just like in a neighborhood in Wrigley. At Wrigley, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Soldier Field is in a cool location with like the skyline and the lake and everything, but there's nothing like inside that stadium other than the fact that they are old and historic that makes me go, "This is such a cool stadium."
My whole thing is,
guys, we're going to a Cubs game. We're sitting in the bleachers.
Oh no,
no, we're sitting in the bleachers.
I've sat in the bleachers.
My whole thing is take out all the stands.
All right, relax. All right, I'm going to show you. All right, what it's like at Wrigley, all right?
You've been there.
It's the same as every park. You go and get drunk off of expensive beer that you paid 3 times the price you should for a Bud Light, and then you sit there and you get drunk off of it.
Yeah, but
it's way cooler at Wrigley. Go home and like, wow, I could have watched this.
It's cool wherever you're a fan of the home team. What do you mean?
Yeah. All right, you know what? Hate on Wrigley all you want, but it's a great stadium. All right?
I'm not hating on it. I'm just saying it's very plain. If you remove everything except for the boundaries of the walls on the outside and looked at it objectively like that, there's nothing cool behind it. You have a couple rooftops, but other teams are starting to do that. It's not that cool. It's very plain dimensionally, just like guaranteed rate, just like Yankee Stadium. Almost every other stadium, we got Arizona. If you can take out the pool, so you got like the Rays tank. The Rays have a very border stadium, except for the fact that there's catwalks there. You play
the wild card.
So like there's some like things like that, but it's just like Wrigley is very boring.
You'll never get me to admit that Wrigley is boring because it's my favorite stadium. All right, yeah.
Of course, it's your favorite stadium.
Yeah.
Oh wow,
that's rough. That's your favorite stadium.
That loosely ties into my question of the week. So stay tuned.
All right, yeah.
Okay, we'll see. Okay, I guess talking MLB. We'll go right.
That was my segue into it. I was like, this is gonna work.
We'll go back to talking about not talking about guaranteed rate, but the White Sox play there.
And they suck.
They've hit quite the slump right now. But, despite that, still leading their division, they got swept by the Astros.
Yeah, that was rough series to watch, man.
I mean, dude, that one was tough to swallow.
I look at it as I feel like the Rays and White Sox are way more beaten down after that series against each other than anyone cares to admit. The Rays got swept by the Mariners. The Rays had the best record in baseball before the series against the White Sox. The Mariners are trash. I'm just going to say Gary Planet came up for a month and a half.
Poor guy.
Went back down. They swept the Rays. They have no business sweeping the Rays. But the Astros are a decent team. So the Astros sweeping the Sox is a little bit less embarrassing to me.
The Astros, that offense is good. There's just no way. There's no way around it. They crush fastballs.
Yeah, I mean, like
the pitching did well. The problem the White Sox ran into in this series is that I'm pretty sure every single game, except for when Rodon pitched, they gave up at least one run in the first inning.
I know we talked about this when we were on vacation, but I don't know if you'll agree with this, Bobby. The way that the Sox got hurt, because they've had a lot of injuries to some of their key points, the way that they got hurt has kept them in first place. If you flip it and Madrigal gets hurt when Eloy got hurt, the Sox are not in first or second, I think, in the division. Because I think Eloy getting hurt, Andrew Vaughn was able to play defense good enough, and his bat was okay. Then Luis Robert got hurt a few weeks before Madrigal. And it was a tough blow, but like Adam Engel came back and stepped up. Billy Hamilton was stepping up before he got hurt. So it's like you kind of feel that, like, you're not replacing Roberts.
But yeah, you're saying like the backups are stepping up.
Madrigal went out, and you kind of lose, kind of like, I want to say back, like he's not like the biggest hitter, it's like the biggest name guy, but he's big in the clubhouse and he doesn't strike out. I feel like to have a guy who doesn't strike out.
He's batting over 300, right?
I think losing Madrigal's bat is the most damaging for the offense because they lost their best on base guy.
Well, yeah,
that's what I'm saying. A lot of the lineup is.
That's what I'm saying. Like, say Eloy was on the team all the way up until when Madrigal got hurt. There's no way they have the best record in baseball. I would argue that they're third, maybe fourth in the division if Madrigal doesn't come. And Mercedes, that was a big help too to Eloy being out because you kind of got a guy who gets on base.
Yeah, but I mean, Mercedes is slowed down.
So imagine, but I'm saying, like, imagine not having Madrigal right now for like the whole first half of the season.
Yeah, no, Madrigal was like a huge part of them winning.
Yeah,
no, he played a big factor. It's hard to say, how the order of injuries would have affected things, but I could see what you're getting at.
Or if Robert gets hurt first, that kind of breaks your spirit as a Sox organization because it's like, he had a chance to win Rookie of the Year.
You overcame Eloy just to lose Robert, who they still haven't like fully replaced, in my opinion.
No, I don't.
Billy Hamilton filled in for a decent bit, was injured. Then Engel came back, did well, but now he's also back on IL. So
and Adam Eaton is the roller coaster he's always been a roller coaster hitter. He'll hit for 300 for 2 weeks, and then the next week you'll look and he'll be batting like 0-30, and then you're like,
so what? You're back with Luis Garcia?
No, Luis plays everywhere.
Well, that's where now they're getting into the problem where Danny Mendick and Luis Garcia are like utility guys. They'll play everywhere, but now Mendick is pretty much an everyday second baseman.
Right.
So now Luis has to come and replace him, and now they're getting stuck where it's like we have to play Adam Eaton all the time because Garcia and Mendick are both tired from playing almost every day in other positions.
Yeah, and
it's tough, man.
Honestly, when I'm thinking about it, yes, they're still in first place in the division, but there are legitimate causes for concern now with like what this offense is when they lose their on base guys. Nick Madrigal isn't the fastest in the world. He doesn't have the power bat, but the dude puts the ball in play. He gets on base. The best two-strike hitter in baseball.
Yeah, Nicky Two Strikes.
So, now all the rumors fly about what should they do. They are linked to Eduardo Escobar from Arizona.
Yeah,
but he's more of the same of what they already have. Guys who can either hit a home run or they're probably not going to get on base. They need to go after like an on base guy, someone who the name that instantly came to my mind was Adam Frazier from Pittsburgh. That's like your best. That's your best villain. The problem is how much do you have to pay for him as a rental player? Because
that's going to be a high.
He's arguably the most talented player on the Pittsburgh team. I don't think he's that old. I don't remember.
I'm looking up stats right now for second baseman just to give you some average stuff. But I want to say Adam Frazier is not. I think he's in his 20s.
Still in his 20s. So
I want to say like 26.
That's what I was thinking. 27.
Like, he's not super.
But he's the most. He's the player that you can go after that is the most like
29. Okay, so he's a little bit older.
But he's the most similar thing you'll find to Madrigal to replace him. I think he's better defensively. The problem is like you're going after a legitimate like everyday starter just to fill in for Madrigal, and I don't know what his contract is like, but if he's under contract for a couple of years, you can maybe flip him as a rental. It's tough. The Sox are in a really difficult position now. Their minor league system is not near as like lucrative or like rich with talent as it has been in the past because all those guys are playing now.
Yeah,
and they're all injured.
You look at teams like Oakland's been able to do it, where they'll call up a bunch of pitching prospects, and yet they still have depth in their minors. The Sox are like everyone up, and everyone is playing at MLB level. Right. So it's just like we're not going to send them back down. Also, they're not expensive guys. We have a very low salary cap right now.
Yeah, their payroll's super low.
Right now, I'm trying to look at teams who would like be willing to trade, and of guys like Adam Frazier's been 324, so it's a highest average of second basemen right now. And then guys I'm looking at teams like that would be willing to trade. I don't know if Marcus Simeon's ever going to be dealt from Toronto.
No, he's not leaving.
That's going to be too much for the White Sox.
The White Sox are going to have to pay so much.
Guys I'm looking at, though, that I could see come off these teams that they've been on for a while. Whit Merrifield from Kansas City. Kansas City's they're got to go back.
He would be a buy low. I mean, he's like what, well in his 30s.
He's definitely, he was big in like 2012 and stuff like that.
So, but the problem is he's in Kansas City, and is Kansas City going to trade one of their best players?
He's 32
for the White Sox.
No, yeah,
teams have done it before to get.
No, I mean
just to get anything like Kansas City is not. They know they're not winning the division.
But with Merrifield, I don't think is going to be any cheaper than Simeon. Maybe a slight bit, but not a lot.
Oh no, I would say at this point in his career and where Kansas City is, a lot cheaper MLB talent. Like Simeon, you're going to have to give up a starter probably to get him. Yeah, with Merrifield, I don't.
So
have to give up like
the Sox will literally be looking at selling the farm just to compete this year.
No.
That's what I'm saying. Like
they don't have to sell the farm.
My biggest thing is I don't know if Adam Frazier is going to be possible. I want them to get Josh Harrison, huge clubhouse guy. He hits for decent average. He used to play for Pittsburgh. He's just a solid guy.
That was another name they were linked to right away. Right now, it seems like the play that they're making is for Escobar, though, which I'm not too keen on that one. But he's probably the cheapest option for them.
Yeah,
because he's older. He's not like he's got 15 home runs, which is great, but he's hitting 240.
Yeah.
So his batting average isn't where you want it to be. And my concern is that the Sox are going to go after something like that and going to just allow there to still be this hole in their lineup where Madrigal was.
They need to get a guy who I'm trying to like Omar Vizquel, guys like back then played great defense and they hit the ball. Omar Vizquel never really had great batting average, but he struck out very low. I'm looking at a lot of these second basemen, like Josh Rojas from Arizona, 68 Ks already. Ozzie Albies, 48. Ryan McMahon, 73. I want to say Madrigal had, well lower than all these. Marcus Simeon.
I don't even think Madrigal had 10 strikeouts this year, but not even exaggerating. I don't think
the Sox can't go get a young guy, but a lot of these older guys don't really hit for average. It's more of,
except for Frazier,
home run, but strikeout.
I want to see them go after Frazier. That's really the move I want to see happen is Frazier.
But are you willing to give up pieces of this team just to win this year? That's what I'm saying. It
all depends on asking price.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
If it depends on what it's tough to say what the asking price is going to be for Adam Frazier. I don't think it's going to be as high as Whit Merrifield. Sure, Marcus Simeon's he's untouchable.
No, Marcus Simeon's untouchable to ruin.
You're looking at, in my opinion, your three best guys to look at are Harrison, Frazier, and Escobar in terms of your most realistic acquisitions. Frazier out of those three might cost you the most, but if you're comfortable with the future of your team now and you think you can afford to give up someone in your system and honestly, if you threw Dylan Cease in there to get Frazier, I could live with that.
Yeah, but I feel like you're going to have to throw more pieces in there.
Well, duh. But if the MLB guy you are giving up is Dylan Cease for Frazier, I'm okay with it.
I think it's saying that the Sox need to do, and I think they need to realize it. And being a fan of the Mariners when they were always one piece away and then they didn't make a big move and then it screwed them, they can definitely see their season turn now at this point. They need to really seriously think about getting rid of Eloy Jimenez. Well, he's still a hot to trade.
Valuable.
I think you could trade him. I feel like you could get Adam Frazier and a young guy for the future and a good relief pitcher. I'm just looking at when everyone's healthy, say no injuries. Eloy is a better bat than Andrew Vaughn, but also has a steeper curve to if he can teeter off and his bat goes away, he's
less valuable.
He has almost no value. And right now I feel like you can get a lot of value for Eloy Jimenez. And
you could.
Let's just say it's Andrew Vaughn, Roberts, and I'm trying to think who the right fielder would be in that situation.
I don't know. They don't have like a legitimate right fielder right now.
So it's like
you're looking at your most likely combination of the future based on how things have played out would be Eloy, Robert, and Vaughn. Like that's your most realistic outfield combination of the future. If you're trading Eloy, you're trying to add yet another star bullpen arm alongside Hendricks, and you have to get a legitimate outfielder to replace him.
Yeah, I think for what I would do, if I had control of the Sox, I would trade Eloy, maybe not get another outfielder for now. I would move Brian Goodwin to be an all-day starting outfielder. He hits the ball well. He hits for decent average. He's been doing everything they've asked for.
Yeah.
Andrew Vaughn has proven that
he can play
outfield. And yes, the bar is extremely low with Eloy. He doesn't play good defense. So as long as he's not tripping over his own feet and letting fly balls just go everywhere as Andrew Vaughn, I'm like, okay, you're not really losing a ton.
Yeah.
If you can get Adam Frazier, I would argue if you go to the Pirates, if you get Adam Frazier, Colin Moran, and a solid relief pitcher, that's going to help Hendricks to where Hendricks doesn't have, if it's the eighth inning and bases are loaded and you've already used Aaron Bummer, and you could put another one out there so Liam Hendricks doesn't have to pitch that inning.
Yeah.
For me, that would be a no-brainer. Yes, Eloy could turn into something crazy, but I would rather, if there was a chance to win a World Series this year and you didn't trade Eloy, and then you have Eloy, it's and now Eloy hit 40 home runs, but we're never going to win a World Series. I'd rather trade Eloy, possibly win a World Series.
The Sox is tough because their bullpen definitely needs help too.
Yeah, I'm personally not on the trade Eloy wagon. Oh man, I can't get behind trading him. The only way I could live with it is because my issue with the Sox is similar to your question. Do you sell everything to win this year?
Because I feel like that's what they would have to do at this
point. Eloy
point.
certainly isn't selling everything. Trading Eloy isn't you selling everything.
No.
But if you believe that you can improve his defense to a level where it's serviceable.
I look at like Astros with Carlos Lee. Amazing hitter. Defense was but like good enough to where it's like they were playing the National League at that time, so no DH.
Mm-hmm.
He was out there playing in the short left field, so any deep fly ball, he didn't have to. It was already a home run.
Well, it was
good enough to play another stage.
You can also look at what they did currently with Yordan Alvarez.
Yeah,
he was a rookie the same year as Eloy, left fielder who can't play defense. They've embraced that he's a designated hitter, and that's cool. Eloy, if you decide Eloy is going to be a designated hitter for your team and you're going to go and be aggressive and get like a corner outfielder or put in right field or left field, and your decision is Vaughn is now you're going to be one of those corner outfielders for the future of your team. Okay, that's fine with me. We love your mean Mercedes, but let's not act like he's the DH of the White Sox for the next 10 years.
Nah,
it's a cool story, but if we're looking at long-term sustained success, I don't necessarily agree with trading Eloy because you're in the American League and his bat alone can bring value to your lineup still. If we're a National League team and you have Eloy and you're just kind of sitting like, okay, now it's a little different because you have to either have him in the outfield or he's not playing. Yeah. And if he's true and he's not a good outfielder, right? So you kind of weigh it as, you know what, his defense is really bad. He's very valuable. We can get a decent replacement for him at like offensively, but we can also get that same guy can play better defense.
Yeah.
You see it all the time with these left fielders that become DHs. JD Martinez is a full-time DH. Robinson Cano. What's his name? Oh my gosh, on the Twins. Nelson Cruz.
Yeah.
Nelson Cruz. I don't know why my mind went Robinson Cano. Nelson Cruz, complete liability in the outfield.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's old.
He always was that way.
Oh,
he misplayed the fly ball in the World Series.
Oh, but he has an absolute cannon for an arm.
He has a cannon for an arm, but he can't.
But that's my thing. Where you look at like Eloy, not a really strong arm to the point where it's like, okay, I misplayed a ball on the warning track and it bounced on the warning track. But Nelson Cruz, when he was in his prime, could gun down a guy trying to stretch a double into a triple.
If you trade Eloy, you're selling the farm to win this year.
No, because here's what selling Eloy would be the opposite of selling the farm. Because if you don't sell Eloy and you want to get a guy like Adam Frazier, you're going to have to sell multiple pieces.
I think they will not
even had all year, and you have the best record in baseball.
I don't think they're going to make a trade.
I wouldn't be shocked if they did.
I don't think.
And I don't believe that a single guy that's on their current roster or is slated to be in the future when they return from injury is even touchable in a trade. The White Sox are going to go strictly minor league system right now. That's what they're going to do to trade because all of their whole team is locked up for the next 7 years.
Yeah,
the core of this team is locked up for a long time, and they're not going anywhere. All you need is fill-ins, and you don't need every one of your good prospects to hit when you have your team that is currently most of the starters are still less than 4 years in the league, and they're signed for 7 years.
Well, it's really I wouldn't see if they can get rid of Eloy, they're going to get Adam Frazier, and Eloy for Adam Frazier straight up would be a stupid trade. Your Sox lose that trade.
You need more.
But if they can get a guy like Kyle Moran who plays first base and corner outfield, or Cabrian Hayes, who's a stud young rookie, or O'Neal Cruz, who's a fast shortstop. All three of those guys can play a corner infield position, which you can go from third base to first base. Not really that hard. Albert Pujols used to be a third baseman and a left fielder, and now first base. If you can get any guys that can play, Adam Frazier can play second base, short, third, and outfield. So getting guys like that, where you're trading Eloy to get a guy like I'm saying get Brian Hayes, Adam Frazier, and a relief pitcher, or Kyle Moran, that solves your problem where Yoan Moncada is your third baseman, your backup third baseman is no one really knows. It's just whoever didn't play yesterday when Yoan Moncada comes out.
Frazier if he's there.
So then you get a guy like Brian Hayes or Kyle Moran. He can't play third base, but he can play first. Then Abreu in a couple of years is going to have to be a DH and one-man guy. Mm-hmm. It's going to get to the point where he's going to be a liability at first base. He's not a terrible first baseman now.
No, he's an average.
Happen. And if you keep an Andrew Ball in the outfield, you're going to want that guy. So I would love to see them get a guy like Kyle Moran or Jared Walsh from LA, where he can play first base and the outfield. I know Jared Walsh probably not touchable right now for LA, just for the simple fact that they're going to give up too much. But to get a guy who can play first in the corner outfield, that's what I'm looking for the Sox to get, in addition to getting Adam Frazier by trading Eloy, if they choose to do that.
But I think you sit tight. You wait it out.
If they're in a tough position, this series against Houston was a glimpse into what could become a major issue, though, for the offense.
But again, that was just one series. You're still in first place.
There's plenty of series to go. I just want to put
a very topical thing. They're losing 2-0 to the Pirates right now, which is very disappointing because the Pirates pitching staff is pretty much a joke for most of their pitchers, especially against a lineup like the Sox. I don't want to say the Pirates are a joke as a team, but when you're playing the Sox offense, someone's got to be hitting hits.
The offense is cold because they don't have someone who gets on base. And, I like Danny Mendick and everything, but the dude doesn't get on base. He's good. He's a good defensive player, but he doesn't get on base. Leori Garcia, cool. He has value as a switch hitter, but he's not getting on base all that much.
Tim Anderson, 1 for 3. Lucas Giolito, 1 for 2. Those are the 2 hits for the White Sox right now. Everyone else, 0 for 3 or 0 for 2.
Yep. I think you guys are overreacting.
I don't want to hear overreacting. Sell everything. I'm
a Mariners fan. This has nothing to do with me. I'm just saying they need someone.
Hey, we had a bad April. All right.
Right, but the White Sox. This has been a long time coming though. This season you were able every month they had someone who hid the problem. Yermin Mercedes was able to hide the problem.
Hide Eloy.
He was able to hide the problem that he carried that offense in April. And then we had May hit, and we had a few guys turn it up. Nick Madrigal had a good month of May. Yoan Moncada had a good month of May. But the team still doesn't get on base enough. And you're thinking that we're saying they have to sell everything to replace Nick Madrigal. You don't have to sell everything. You need to give up something to get – Nick Madrigal's done for the season.
Yeah.
He's not coming back for the season. Your team is built on a timeline, and the window is open now, and it will eventually close. You can't just go, oh, well, our window still has 3 more years. We'll pack it in. If you're truly building a team to win this World Series, and when Rick Hahn said at the beginning of the year, anything less than a World Series is a failed season, you need to make a play to win the World Series. Yes, Nick Madrigal will be back, but we're not sitting here saying the Bears are going to give up or they're going to give up Kopech.
The Bears?
Did I say the Bears?
You did say the Bears.
We didn't say the Sox are going to give up Kopech, Rodon, Eloy, Giolito, Grandal, and all these guys to go and replace Nick Madrigal. But if you're going to give up one good MLB player in a prospect to bring in a guy who can replace Nick Madrigal, which you truly need someone who can, that's not blowing it up. That's not selling the farm.
There are 3 players right now that, if traded from the White Sox, would be selling the farm. It'd be Roberts, Tim Anderson, Moncada would be your 3 guys that if you sold any of those guys, you can argue that the Sox or something. Or first of all, you're not going to sell the farm when you're in the first in your division and one of the best records in baseball.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
The only problem here is
I think you waited out another couple of weeks, and then as that trade deadline
approaches, I was a fan of the Mariners when they missed out by a half game of going to the playoffs. And everyone's like, okay, it's fine. We'll go next year. Then they had like the least amount of home runs hit. Then they get Nelson Cruz. It's like, okay, you could have traded for him at the trade deadline, traded the exact same guy you got, or they ended up signing him. But like you could have traded a guy that we don't even need anymore. The next year, they had 2 guys get hurt, and Robinson Cano had a down year. They missed playoff by 3 games. They have not even come close to being in second place once. If the Sox right now miss the playoffs or lose a 7-game series by 1 game because they don't have Madrigal, now next year you have Eloy, and Eloy has a down year. Madrigal gets hurt again, or Tim Anderson gets hurt, or Robert gets hurt again. Now you're losing. Now Abreu's getting gold. Grandal is not going to be great forever. He's a great player now. But now all of a sudden you're getting to the point where I'd rather have a decent playoff run and get rid of Eloy. What Eloy has not played a single game for the White Sox this year.
When the Cubs traded for Aroldis Chapman, did they sell the farm for Aroldis Chapman?
No, but
they won a World Series because they addressed a need that they seriously needed to, right?
But I'm saying if you get rid of any of the key players,
you're not saying they're giving up key players.
Eloy right now
is a key player.
I'm not advocating the Eloy trade.
That's what I'm arguing.
I'm not advocating.
I would argue
the
that
trade, but I'm saying they have to make a move. They have to go after someone, and they have to give up something to get them. Eloy is not the guy that I think they should give up. I said in my perfect world, if you're giving someone up, Dylan Cease is the piece you offer out for guys. If you need to give up an established MLB, not established, but a young, talented MLB player, Dylan Cease is the guy because he's the odd man out on that rotation when Kopech is ready to come back and be a starter.
Yeah, the only problem is Dylan Cease doesn't offer a lot of value to a lot of teams that are going to, like, the Pirates don't want Dylan Cease. They want a guy who's going to be good in 3 years from now. And Dylan Cease isn't going to come to your team and change things. Eloy Jimenez coming to your team is going to change things. That's what I'm saying. You can give up Dylan Cease, Mendick. You're going to have to give up a reliever and then probably one other player to get Adam Frazier. Now you're getting rid of 5 pieces.
That's why I don't think they're going to be in play. I don't think they're going.
Dylan Cease, for reasons that I don't understand, is valued way higher around the league
to certain teams, to like the team like an Astros or Athletics, or a team that's kind of fighting to kind of get in the playoffs. He definitely has value. But to go to a team like the Pirates, where they're going to kind of expect him to be like the leading guy in the clubhouse, and especially in the rotation, they're not going to give up Adam Frazier just for Dylan Cease.
I said Dylan. If Dylan Cease is your MLB, you're not hearing what I'm saying. If you're going to give up an MLB guy, Dylan Cease is the guy you offer. I'm figuring prospects are also involved.
No, that's what I'm saying. I would rather give up one player, Eloy, to get 5 players in return, rather than give up multiple players to get 1 player.
No, yeah, I don't agree with that.
I mean, we'll only see when time tells.
That's why I'm saying I don't think anything's going to happen.
I don't. My thing is, there's no real like major prospects that the White Sox have that they like need right now. The team is built for long-term success as it stands. When Kopech is able to come back into that starting rotation, there's no room for Dylan Cease. So his value, you might as well try and get something while he still has value as a starter.
I would trade Dylan Cease a long time ago, but you're not going to get much for him from teams that you need.
Well, that's why you package in a couple of things with him, and I'm okay with doing that because what do the White Sox absolutely need right now to be a legitimate contender, a right fielder, and maybe one bullpen arm. And if we're assuming they're addressing second base as well, but if Madrigal's healthy, they don't need a second baseman.
I think they need a utility guy who plays second and third base.
They have two of them.
No, I'm saying a guy who, like, say Madrigal comes back. He's not getting surgery. He's letting his body heal on his own. No, he is getting surgery. No,
he got surgery.
He got surgery. So he's getting surgery. Not saying that he's guaranteed injury next year. What happens when he plays just as many games this year and gets hurt next year? You still have a hole on your team because Mendick and Garcia do not fill the hole.
Well, that's why this trade is going after someone to stay.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I would rather have, like, say Madrigal doesn't get hurt. They beat the Rays. Same thing happens in the Rays series. They sweep the Astros. We're not talking to the Sox are in trouble at all. Guess who's still not playing on the team? Eloy. So I understand Eloy is technically a key piece in a lot of people's rooms, but if they sweep the Astros rather than get swept by the Astros, and Eloy Jimenez is still on the IL, Eloy's not a key piece to the team this year. And right now, before they got swept by the Astros, they were definitely favorites to win the World Series without Eloy, and even without the prospect of Eloy coming back anytime soon.
But they did get swept by the Astros, and their offense is abysmal.
But also, the reason for that was Madrigal being out. That's what I'm saying. It wasn't Eloy didn't help them.
Yes, Madrigal being out hurt is. I'm not like Eloy's bat is still more valuable than your mean Mercedes' bat.
Oh yeah,
it's more valuable.
More consistent.
It's more valuable than Andrew Vaughn's bat. Eloy Jimenez's bat alone is more valuable than a lot of guys' offensive production on that team, which is why.
Except for this year, because
make him a designated hitter. But I don't want Eloy. I don't think trading Eloy is necessarily the right move to make. I'm in the camp that they just need to go out and try and get someone who can fill in for how Madrigal plays. I don't think you need to give up Eloy and go, all right, we need to have all these prospects in here with us and all these utility guys that can play everywhere. They have plenty of those. They have them in the minor league system. They have a surplus of guys that can just play wherever you put them.
Yeah, but not to the MLB level.
Well, I'm sorry. Think about it this way: you're still in first place, and you guys need to relax. All right, you're still probably going to make the playoff.
I'm just saying.
But All-Star break is coming up. We do have
Bobby's done. Fair enough.
We do have all the voting
on this. You don't get to tell us to relax, mister.
We had a bad April. All right. And I went on for maybe 5 minutes.
Right, and then the entire David Ross played Bobby's podcast part in there. And he's like, look what's going to happen. And then bam, they just went off.
Hey, David Ross is my boy now. All right.
Jock Peterson can hit now. I swear Jock Peterson had at least hear something similar to what Bobby said. Because after Bobby said,
yeah, exactly. He went from batting like a 211 to like actually high 200. So, hey,
Yeah, okay, but All-Stars, sad to say, I think the only representatives from actual position players from Chicago, I think are going to come from the Cubs.
Yeah, no, that is what it is.
Madrigal healthy, I feel like he gets the nod at second base for the AL. But with him being hurt, I don't.
There's just a lot of guys having really good seasons.
No, I don't. I think Marcus Semien takes that no matter what.
I'm just saying because Marcus Semien hit a great.
Your best chance was Madrigal.
Your
best chance, realistically, in my opinion, was Yasmani Grandal.
Except for Salvador Perez gets the love for him being old, and everyone wants to see him. And when you get to that age, to where like he's still good, like he still does stuff. It's not like Albert Pujols is past the age where he's like still big. But if you're in that where people want to see you in one more All-Star game, so they're going to vote Salvador Perez. Elvis Andrus got like 2 million votes. He's definitely not in the top. Tim Anderson should get more votes than him, but it's just like people want to see him.
Also got if you go back to the NHL, you had John Scott was voted in as an All-Star captain, and he was inactive for the entire season.
Yeah, because people just
he played in the All-Star game. But no, realistically, I don't care all that much about like who makes the All-Star game. To me, I view that the same as the Pro Bowl. You get voted in by fans. Yeah. It's popularity. To your point exactly, it's a popularity contest. That's why, like in the NFL, I value All Pro. Yeah, and I think MLB does All Team,
Silver Slugger, Golden Glove.
Yeah, that stuff I value. They have like their first team and whatnot.
Hey, Maybe if there was more White Sox on there, maybe you wouldn't be saying it's popularity contest.
The only thing I talk about,
I'm just messing with you.
Well, you always look at it. The team to always get the most players is New York, just because
the Yankees.
New York has such a
diehard fan base. Boston, yada yada.
I mean, I see a lot of Boston.
Yeah, because they have Devers and Bogarts are both the third base and shortstop. Where it's like Bogarts is definitely probably the best shortstop playing wise, but it's just like
it's a popularity contest. I don't care too much about the All-Star game because what's going to happen? You're going to make the starting lineup of the All-Star game. You're going to play 2 innings. Someone's going to sub in for you. They're going to play 2 innings, and they're going to get subbed for.
The only time I care is when it's a player I like Tim Anderson. Sometimes they have really cool jerseys, and it's like I'd like to have a Sox player. Yeah, and I want to get an All-Star jersey.
I mean, Liam Hendricks is going to make it.
Yeah, Liam Hendricks.
He's going to go in. He's going to go in.
I'm thinking Chicago boys that'll be representing us. Hendricks,
Bryant,
possibly Rodon, depending on how they fill.
Rodon might be voted in.
I don't remember how they've. I don't think the fans pick all 5, like all starters that go and all relievers. I think you get 3 relievers and 1 starter, and I think the coach who gets voted in to be the coach gets to pick the rest.
That might be it.
So usually that's where that's where guys so that's where the coach might pick Rodon because it's like, okay, Rodon's got some nasty stuff this year. People just can't hit him. And then Chris Bryant is Baez. I don't think Baez is close.
He's number 2.
He's number 2.
Yeah.
And who's Tatis?
Yeah, Tatis.
So,
I mean, the Sox have a few guys that are in the top 3, but they're not going to get there. But like I said, it's not that big of a deal to me if I'm going to be entirely honest. The home run derby is kind of what I am more interested in, and Shohei Ohtani has entered it. He said he's going to do it, which is going to be cool to watch. The thing that kind of bums me out is we're not going to watch Vlad Guerrero Jr. go against him.
Yeah.
Those guys have been battling out, and then Tatis is, I think, also in there with like the top 3 in home runs this year.
I don't know if Acuna is said if he's doing it.
Acuna's it.
Yeah.
But so far, we're not going to – I know we're not going to watch Shohei and Vlad go at it because Vlad Jr.'s sticking out, staying out. I can't talk. He's sitting out.
Yeah.
He's not going to do it, which is kind of disappointing.
Understandable, though.
But
I get it.
He did it once. Shohei Ohtani, I'm excited to watch that. That's who I'm picking to win.
Where is that again?
Coors Field. So it's going to be quite the home run derby. Assuming they actually do well.
Yeah.
But my whole thing is, do you like the time better or you like the 10 outs as a home run derby? Because before 2 years ago, it used to be as many swings as you wanted, but 10 outs.
I like the 10 outs more. Or I mean the time of it.
I like the time more as long because when was it Schwarber lost to Bryce Harper? I want to say in 2018.
I think so. Yeah.
Yes. People were mad because you should just be able to as many swings as you can get off.
Yeah, the rule is that you have to let the ball land before the next.
But also, if Shohei Ohtani's hitting a 510-foot home run, I don't want to be sitting there waiting for 8 seconds for the ball to hit the stands.
Right.
I say hit it, and then as soon as it gets close to the wall, throw the next pitch. I don't need to see show me where it lands, and then show me the next one. I don't want to be sitting a bunch of dead time.
I also think the time is a little bit more of a athletic, makes it a little more of an athletic competition.
Yeah,
because there is some level of endurance that comes with it. Then because if it's 10 outs. If you don't like the pitch, you can just –
or if you're tired, you just sit there and take 15
some pitches for a little bit, and they're not outs. But this one, it's like, okay, now there's kind of a repercussion for not swinging. Yeah. I mean, obviously, you don't swing at everything because sometimes you're going to get a bad little – they're lobs, but sometimes you get a bad one.
I don't know how they end up picking home. I don't know if they ask the top 5 in home run leaders.
I have no idea.
But because Vlad Guerrero's out. I don't know some of these guys on here if they're going to get invited to come or not. I would like to. Jared Walsh is tied for 6th in home runs.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to see a teammate battle. I don't know how many teammate battles there have been, but if you set up first round Ohtani versus Walsh, they're both teammates, cool. That would be pretty wild. But we have Acuna, Matt Olson, Devers, Adolis Garcia, and Schwarber and Salvador Perez are all in there with Tatis, Acuna, and Ohtani.
Yeah. Dude, Schwarber had a crazy week.
5 home runs?
6.
6? Oh.
He had 6 home runs this past week.
That makes sense why he's up there now.
Yeah, Shohei popped off as well as he's doing. I'm still pulling for him for MVP.
Shohei popped into first on Father's Day. He hit a home run. And then I think Vlad tied him yesterday with 23.
That's why it would have been really cool to see him go to
right. I wanted to watch those two go
because they've been going back and forth honestly, all year.
Anything can happen in the home run derby. For all we know, we can get the 2 guys no one expected.
Well, no one expected Jock Peterson. Jock Peterson almost knocked out Vlad Or no, he did knock out Flaherty last year after like 4 overtimes or whatever.
Yeah, they had a crazy.
Everyone's
not last year, 2 years ago. His rookie year. Yeah, I mean, I'm more interested in the home run derby than the All-Star game. All-Star game is cool for the players.
I think they need to start doing more skill things.
Yeah,
like could you imagine like Mike Trout or Ramon Laureano, like you're from the warning track, we'll set up 5 or 6 bowling pins at like third base, and then you got to just see you can knock out more.
Yeah, that's who I'm surprised is on here. He's number 1.
Who?
For outfielders, Mike Trout.
You surprised?
Dude, he's been injured for.
Everyone likes Mike Trout.
It's Mike Trout.
But the fish. It's Trout.
Dude, it's Mike Trout.
Like, pick someone who hasn't been injured all year.
Byron Buxton's leading left field. He shouldn't. I mean, he's played a very small amount of games, so it's like all of his stats.
That's the thing. Popularity contest, guys.
I will say that, but you know
That's
what?
why I don't care too much about it.
Chris Bryant is in it, so
yeah, no, good for him.
Yeah.
I got nothing against Chris Bryant.
I would like to see Chris Bryant, Nolan Arenado, like throw balls down the line, and we see who can throw the hardest ball, like from third base side to first base, because like.
Arenado's got a cannon.
Because like definitely doing NHL, they do like hardest.
I do like
hardest slap shot. So like set up a little target, and then it's like if you hit the target,
they should try and do some kind of skills competition. That would be cool.
Something like don't make it a huge thing. Or one of my favorite things about All-Star Weekend for MLB has always been the celebrity softball game afterwards. When like all the old players come and play, it's like that's more entertaining than watching the All-Star, because the All-Star game.
I also the thing I don't like about the All-Star game is that it determines home field advantage for the World Series. That to me, that's just dumb.
Well, I mean, it's good for you being a Sox fan, not so good for Bobby, because usually the American League ends up winning it. So.
True, but it just is like really. I don't think that's a fair way to just go off of who has the better record when you get to the World Series, like they do in every other sport,
except NFL.
I mean, NFL also does the. But the NFL doesn't matter.
But you just, unless you're Tampa Bay.
The NFL doesn't matter.
Yeah, because you're in someone else's stadium, unless you're Tampa Bay.
That's what I just said.
Welcome back. That's what you just said.
Now listen to me over here, Bobby. I'm over here.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really matter for the NFL. It just determines what jersey you wear. That's about it. But yeah, that's just something I never really understood that. Just kind of like, really? Just go off of who has the better record.
Yeah, that's just something I never really understood.
Be stairs.
Yeah.
Or blitzball. Something. Just be like, you know what?
Blitzball's fun.
Wild.
I want to join a wiffle ball league so badly. Are there any? Do you know of any?
Dude, I've never heard of it.
I know of like 2 in like Indiana, like Alex Clark and those guys.
Oh, that's right, the Hawaiians.
Yeah, the Hawaiians.
Dude, wiffle ball. Have you played wiffle ball?
I actually play Bats for Brains. I don't know if anyone wants to look it up. It's a charity thing. One of the guys from Shepherd started it. It's like wiffle ball. We play it like Conkey Forest Reserve.
Thanks for inviting me.
Oh, I got invited to a team. I just got put on a team as a 4th person. But it's actually because you only get 3 fielders. You get the pitcher and then the 2 fielders.
Right.
And it's like a lot more intense than like just you play wiffle ball in your backyard. It just gets wild.
Yeah, dude, wiffle ball is a ton of fun.
I mean, yeah,
it's better than slow pitch 14-inch softball. I'll tell you that much. I don't know who plays that, but man, wiffle ball is more exciting. Okay, but tell you what, we'll start one of these days. We'll start a garage talk wiffle ball league.
Oh yeah, I'm up for that.
We'll do it. We'll make it
90% drinking league, 10%.
Yeah, we'll get a beer an alcohol license or something. Have vendors beer.
Just every game, just no home run derby. Yeah, we're not playing. We're running around.
Right.
All right, but NBA playoffs. I'm just gonna say I called it.
Oh, you did it.
Milwaukee
you said
upset.
Dallas. You said Dallas was going to win.
Milwaukee upset.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I called it. That was intense. Last week. You weren't here, Nick.
There was an alteration to the predictions. We did say we thought that we didn't think Brooklyn was going to overcome the injury with Kyrie.
No, we didn't.
Giannis continues to be the Greek freak. I mean, I'm going to be entirely honest. I'm so glad Brooklyn didn't.
Oh yeah, dude, I hate super teams.
I would have been so pissed if I had to sit here and watch another team just bring all these stars and go, oh, all right, here's the champion, and the season hasn't started. So I'm happy that they got out. I don't really. I like KD outside of when he was a total snake and went to Golden State and everything, but
yeah, that's
But you know what, dude? I'm glad to see that Milwaukee was able to take them out.
I mean, it was a tough battle, even that game 7.
I know. But I was excited to see it.
Did you see KD almost won? Almost won the game.
I don't know what that shot was at the end, though.
I'm talking about like the in the fourth quarter. When he was like literally, if he was a half size shoe size smaller, Brooklyn would have been in the final or in the semifinals. Because his toe was on the line. And I play basketball. Your toe is not the end of your shoe, so really his toe was probably behind the line. The end of his shoe was just barely sticking over.
Yeah. Oof. Sucks to suck. Hurts sometimes.
Glad to see Milwaukee beat them.
Yeah.
I've always liked Milwaukee.
They're gonna go to the finals.
I've always liked to coach in Milwaukee. I'm pretty sure it's still Mike Budenholzer. I feel bad for him because he literally quick update. Sox are not winning 3-2.
Hey.
That's Monty Grandal. Pinch hit for Zach Collins.
Pre-run run. Yes. He's not the leading catchers for votes. What? Dude, like 160. But his on base percentage is insane.
Yeah, I'll give him his credit. He gets on base.
I want to say, yep. Budenholzer is still Milwaukee Bucks coach, but he gets screwed sometimes because like he has decent teams, but like they already told him if he doesn't win the finals this year, he's getting fired. But I'm playing like that's not fair because
they took out who everyone had as like the favorite. But I mean, if I'm talking who I think the new favorite is,
yeah, Gordon Ramsay's out.
Gordon Ramsay's out of the game too.
But so is Kawhi.
I mean, Milwaukee's supposed to get through Atlanta. It's done Philly.
Yeah. Okay, but do you watch any of the Philly series?
All I know is it was like
when we played basketball, when me and Dave ran a team and I couldn't score. That's what Ben Simmons like. He had wide open looks like underneath the basket. And he was just passing.
That's what I.
He
was so much video after this is over.
Is it the guy who he's wide open? He just like
yeah, dude. That he scored.
That was like 2 years old. 2 points in the fourth quarter, which I'm not saying Ben, like Joel Embiid is your star. I feel like, but for Ben Simmons to be like your second big star or whatever, yeah. Apparently, the big talk is that they're going to trade Kemba Walker for Ben Simmons in like a package deal.
Ooh.
And I'm just like, I feel so bad for Ben Simmons, but also,
shoot the ball, man.
You're in the NBA, which means you had to play AAU ball, high school ball to get into a decent college. He went to LSU for a year, and now he's in the NBA, and he can't shoot a mid-range jumper. Give me a month. I'll be making wide open mid-range jumpers. I'm not going to say I'm going to score a lot of points, but
give me a month.
Give me a month, and if you put me wide open, where some of his shots were, Giannis is going to come out of nowhere.
So you're saying the scenario where it's like you can win $10 million. You can use your 2 options, right? You have an entire NBA game. You can play every single minute. And all you have to do is make one basket. One throws do not count. If you score at least 2 points, you win $10 million. If you don't, then you get killed at the end of the game. You're saying you got to say you make $10 million.
I'll make $10 million.
You'll make $10 million.
Dude, for the simple fact is, I'm not. I'm 5'11", and I can just sit back and not play defense and have them throw me the ball.
You just cherry pick and make a layup,
a decent layup, or I'm not saying you can make an NBA 3 because it's a little bit farther, but I'm saying if I'm just chucking up shots and the coach can't take me out of the game, I'm at least going 1 for 20.
Yeah, you think you'll hit? You got to hit at least. That's what I told him.
I'm getting left open one time.
I'm not 6'5" and can shoot. I was like, that's right. These guys take their hand up, and I can't even jump to high five them. So I don't know. But that was my. If I could cherry pick one layup, I got a chance. But knowing me, I missed the layup. This is it. 10 mil.
Off the rim. Yeah, but that's my thing of like everyone's saying Atlanta stuns Philly. Philly's team is set up so poorly for late season success because Ben Simmons is so scared of himself shooting a wide open shot. True. Because we're like you put my biggest thing is you put Damian Lillard on the 76ers. I would argue that they were very close to being favorites. They'd be favorites in the East. Brooklyn has
Lillard was there.
Brooklyn has 1-2. I do not like big threes. Golden State somehow made it work because Steph Curry doesn't care how many times he touches the ball. Klay Thompson does not care how much time he touches the ball. and Kevin Durant can score with or without help. But you add him, James Harden, and Kyrie.
Part of your big three,
defense-wise. But I'm saying big three now.
Just ignore me.
But you look at Brooklyn, Kyrie has to have the ball in his hands to do dribble moves. James Harden, for some reason, doesn't catch and shoot very well.
No, I know. They had a lot of
and you saw KD can score regardless of how many stars he has on his team, regardless of how many stars he doesn't have on his team, he'll score.
Right.
But
they had too many guys that need the ball in their hands.
Whereas, like, you look at, if you put, that's what I was saying, like, you put Trae Young on Philadelphia, I'm not saying they're favorites. He's a better point guard than Ben Simmons because he'll be able to score some points in the fourth quarter. But if you put Damian Lillard or Jamal Murray, I mean, I look at it the same way. Jamal Murray and Jokic would be a better match. Like, they would absolutely destroy Philadelphia because you have a point guard who can take control of the game and score points from outside of the arc, where Ben Simmons is a power forward who can dribble well.
I don't know if you saw Ryan's comment. He said Ben Simmons had 100% field goal percentage in every fourth quarter of the series. Homie's taking one shot in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, that doesn't matter.
Dude throws up a layup once and just giving you a hard time. But
that's my whole thing is like, okay, he shoots 100%, but that doesn't count unless you're shooting at least 5 shots. I'd rather have Damian Lillard shoot 45% from 3 in the fourth quarter and just absolutely drain one over Oklahoma City and just wave goodbye to Houston, rather than Ben Simmons make 5 layups and be like, I scored 10 points, but I had 15 wide open threes that I didn't choose to take so that I could keep 100% 3-point percentage or field goal percentage.
No, I get what you're saying.
But this is definitely not who I thought would be.
This isn't. I don't think, if you look at the final 4 teams here, I don't think a lot of people had any of these guys. Maybe the Clippers were the team in Milwaukee, I think, were the 2 we thought had the best chance.
The only thing that screwed me of picking not the Phoenix Suns is after the first series started, Dallas being up 2-0 on the Clippers.
Yeah, that was a tough loss.
That would make me think, when Bobby and I were doing our predictions, I thought there's no way Dallas doesn't make it to the finals. But then they ended up losing.
Yep.
Yeah.
So if I can go back in time and say, okay, if I know that Dallas is going to lose, Phoenix has
called it then.
Phoenix has a solid team, but I'm happy as an NBA fan because Chris Paul will get his first ring if they win. Paul George will get his first ring if they win. Giannis will get his first ring if they win. And Atlanta, I don't think anyone on their team has won a ring yet.
The city of Atlanta will get something if they win.
I don't know who.
They watched the opposite of the choke job.
The All-Star game taken away.
Forgot about that.
But it'll be interesting to see who wins it. So yeah, I don't actually give it to the NBA. It's not a disappointing part.
Yeah, I'm actually excited for this.
I'm at the point where I don't care who wins.
Yeah,
I would like to see Phoenix and Atlanta play in the finals, as those are the 2 teams I'd like to see face off against each other. But literally, whoever wins this finals,
it'll be nice. It'll be someone else.
Yeah, it won't be Golden State or
it won't
Cleveland.
be LeBron or
it won't be LeBron or whatever team from the West or Golden State, really, for the past.
Yeah, it'll be something different. I think this was the first time in 10 years that the finals won't have either Steph Curry or LeBron James in it.
To be honest, the only team I really don't want to win is the Clippers.
Why?
Because Kawhi?
Yeah, Kawhi.
I like Kawhi.
I mean, I like him, but
my whole thing is
I don't like any team in these finals here. Or in these.
I will change my decision on who I want to make to the finals, depending on if Shaq. I have to look at the fantasy net. Shaq has played on a team with someone who's been in every NBA final since like 1982 or something until now.
1982.
Because he started in the 90s going back. So like he played.
What?
Because like he played in Orlando and then played with Kobe and then played with LeBron and they played with some of the other guys that played on like the Warriors when like LeBron didn't make it. So I want to say, I don't know if maybe last year it changed. No, because LeBron was still in the LeBron wasn't in the finals last year.
Guys, update: White Sox are losing 5-3.
Nice. It is a roller coaster of a game. But I want it. I'll have to look it up, and I'll send it to Bobby for Twitter, or you for Twitter, and just see because when I saw him
Twitter.
Yeah, I don't really want. I don't want that pressure.
Yeah,
for all this Twitter. Ignore me.
I'll send it. Oh, big thing too. Atlanta Hawks have Tony Snell and Chris Dunn. Two former Bulls. Can you get
oh, shit. Ryan sent me. Yeah.
Is it the 0.0 rebounds, 0 steals, 0
like 20 minutes?
Yeah.
What this man do? Run?
I still like the one. It was that one. And then someone just posted, I think it was the end of this season, or maybe it was like college. It was 2 minutes, 0 stats, 5 fouls, 5 out of the game. I'm like, how does that happen? They brought him in to just straight up foul and then take him out.
Sheesh, man. But no, I think we all agree. Well, not so much Bobby, but I'm cool with any team winning it from these 4. It's finally something different. I'm gonna root for Phoenix. I really like Devin Booker. I want to see Chris Paul win one.
Yeah.
This Phoenix smaller market team would be awesome. I don't know if you saw Stephen A. Smith said that Devin Booker will be the next Kobe Bryant.
Stephen A. Smith is just, I like Stephen A. Smith, but he has the most extreme takes.
Well, yeah, he has.
No, I'm just saying that come out of nowhere because like you're talking about guys who could be like the next Kobe, and really there's not really a chance of anyone being the next Kobe. But he's like Devin Booker because he's big on stuff. I feel like when Ben Simmons first came to the league, Stephen A. Smith is like the next Kobe Bryant. And I was like,
he could have, but that's his personality, right?
Yeah.
Skip Bayless says dumb stuff. Max Kellerman says dumb stuff. Stephen A. says dumb stuff. I wear dumb hats. Stuff like that. It's all for the brand.
Okay, Max Kellerman still, if Stephen, he gets carried
Max gets
by
carried
Stephen
by
A.
him
Smith,
so
and he says such dumb stuff. No, I have full disrespect. I don't care about that. He comes out of nowhere. And he's just like, what's everyone in the world thinking? I'm the opposite. Just to make it argument.
Skip Bayless said Aaron Rodgers was cheap for catching the Cowboys with too many men on the field. What?
Yeah.
How is that cheap?
My bad,
That's
like,
the game.
I hate Skip Bayless. Klay Thompson, KD, and Steph Curry. All right, I have the final shot. Alien have the laser beam pointed at Earth. Give me Iguodala. Like, no.
Max,
I'm like, you could have said
Max.
You could have said Klay Thompson, Steph Curry. You said any of the 3 guys. He's like, Andre Iguodala.
37-year-old Andre Iguodala.
Like,
okay, Max.
Give me the most extremely oldest player who has the most time playing in the NBA. Yeah. Like, but Steph Curry made like 230 straight threes in practice. But I don't care.
Iguodala. Max is dumb, man.
But I'm taking Milwaukee.
You're going Milwaukee?
I'm going Milwaukee.
I think Phoenix.
I want to say it comes down to Chris Paul. If he plays enough games to where they win, the Phoenix will win. But I think the West is going to end up winning.
Okay.
I think both teams in the West, regardless of who it is, are better than both teams left in the East.
Gotcha.
All right. Put a 20 on it. I'll take
What is it? No.
Put a 20 on it.
Oh, dude.
I'm not putting a 20 on anything.
Put a 20 on it.
You're trying to bet too much.
Put a 20 on
Yeah.
it.
Save this energy for Vegas.
Put a 20 on it.
No, I don't care enough.
You're confident. Put a 20
You're
on
just going
it.
to go up to
I
every
just said
betting table. Put a 20.
I said I want Phoenix to win.
All right. Yeah. I'm taking Milwaukee. You can literally take the West. I'll take the East.
I just want Phoenix to win. I don't
I don't understand that. That's the same thing. Like my brother and I will go after it. And it's like, he'll be like $5. I'm like, why can't I just say what team I think is going to win?
All right. See you again. Ryan said do it.
Of course he did. You guys are on the same side here.
All right, Ryan. So Ryan's in for 20. Okay, so Ryan's in.
All right, Ryan, you in for 20?
Ryan's in for 20. All right, Ryan, who do you got 20 on? You and Bobby.
All right, East or West. I'll let you pick.
Milwaukee's going to win. I'll let you pick though.
I'll let you pick.
You just want to bet $20. You don't even care who wins. You just want to bet $20.
Good for Bobby's bets.
I mean, I'm taking East.
Okay, there we go. Okay,
All right. There we go.
Either both you get $20. That's only fair.
Yeah,
I'm the house. You guys both bet 20, and you bet 20
he's
on
the
the
house,
side.
and then we'll split that 20.
This isn't even your garage, man.
Okay, fine. It goes to me.
Okay, and then we'll split.
Yeah, no.
Whatever, Nick. Your question.
All right, so you get the East. Ryan gets the West.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Since you guys don't want to bet $20.
I don't want to bet $20 on basketball.
All right, so my question of the week, loosely tied to what we started talking about with the Sox Stadium and Cub Stadium. What is the coolest professional sports stadium / I'm going to give it to Bobby, atmosphere, because I do not think Wrigley is that coolest stadium, but it is a very cool atmosphere to be just downtown in general.
I do like cool stadium and a separate one for atmosphere.
You can do that, and then I would also like just dumbest stadium.
Guaranteed rate field.
Dude, there's dumber. All right, let's be real. There's dumber.
Because for me,
there are dumber. Okay, I'm not going to say it's guaranteed rate.
I don't think there's a dumber name.
It's a dumb name.
Oh, yeah, there's no dumber name.
Because the guaranteed rate is for
everything.
Financing prices.
The name is stupid. The sponsorship
the arrow is down.
I'm not arguing that.
If you want to do like guaranteed rate of like rate of return for like investments, so the arrow's going up, but like literally you have a down arrow all over the stadium. Guaranteed rate.
Eddie's putting 20 on the Bucks. Woo. Am I reading that correctly, Eddie?
All right, now one of you guys got to bet Eddie.
I'm not betting. Dude. No.
If the Suns win,
how about you and Eddie split 10 and 10 on the Bucks against Ryan's 20? All right, you know what? Tell you what, you guys go in. Let's down it. Shut up, Ryan. Don't you do it. Let's go down a little bit. All right, you and Eddie each put 10 on your Bucks, and me and Ryan will each put 10 on the Suns.
That's fair.
All right, Ryan said double it, dude. Put a 20 on it.
No, he's doubling it to 40.
We got 40 on it.
I'm out. I'm going back to the next question of the week.
There's going to be no fun in Vegas, man.
You watch your mouth, buddy. You watch your mouth, buddy. My coolest stadium, or you can go.
I was going to say least coolest stadium, in my opinion, for just Toronto Blue Jays, their original stadium. You can barely even rob a home run, even if it's barely over the fence, because the fences are like 8 foot tall.
Yeah, it's true.
And I'm sorry, but NFL, MLB outfielders. Not the highest vertical. I mean, like, if you got LeBron out there robbing runs
on the wall, maybe
you got Giannis out there robbing runs. We're good.
My dumbest.
We'll go dumbest first, then we'll go.
Dumbest stadium, Tropicana, dude. I think Tropicana needs to go.
That's going to be apparently it's the next move for stadiums. They're talking about.
It should have been the first move. Let's be real. But no, Tropicana I think sucks. And this isn't just MLB. You can go NFL, NHL, NBA,
FIFA.
All of the empty stadiums in Brazil from the World Cup.
Ooh, that's tough.
Okay, well, we'll come back to Bobby.
All right, I would say my coolest atmosphere for a stadium.
We're going worst one first.
But you were taking forever to do worst, so I was just going to give you some more
dumbest
time.
stadium and then coolest stadium and then coolest atmosphere.
All right, go. There you go. All right, go ahead.
Coolest atmosphere.
Coolest atmosphere for me, very close to being Wrigley, but it's Fenway. For the simple fact is that they close down the streets, and that's where your ticket gate is on the corner of streets. There's no ticket gate.
I am going to go with the Madhouse on Madison
for both games. Nice, dude.
Blackhawks games, dude. United Center is, dude. It's something else.
I will say
the Bulls are good. It's pretty dope too.
Yeah, well, you went to Hawks games though when they were in the Stanley Cup, right? In the playoffs and stuff like that.
Good. Oh yeah,
but that was because I know Josh Mayer was talking about like. Him and his dad spent like $500 total for just standing room only or something like that. Because it's just
Hawks games
jeez,
it's electric. Boogie, oogie, oogie. Do you still have a dope?
Okay, Bobby. So no water until you give us your worst stadium.
Athletics. I'm gonna go then.
Okay, that's a boring stadium.
Yeah, it's really boring.
It's got the same.
Same
outfield. It's still got the 10-foot tall walls. It doesn't have a dome or a hotel attached to it.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, but your best atmosphere and best stadium have to be stadiums you visited.
Here comes Wrigley Field.
And Wrigley Field.
Wow.
You're such a homer.
Tell me you live in Chicago without telling me you
I did like the Bucks stadium. I mean, not the Bucks. Brewers. Yeah.
Brewers stadium's pretty good.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Does it really have to be a stadium that we've been to for
because coolest atmosphere because I feel like you got
I mean, obviously Wrigley.
The best thing about Brewers is there used to be a TGI Fridays in left field. You could literally sit in the TGI Fridays, normal prices. They didn't raise the prices for anything. So like a burger and fries was still like $8. And you could just watch the game while sitting in a TGI Fridays while still being in the stadium.
Have you had the cheese fries burger from TGI Fridays?
I have not.
Very good.
Didn't you have that reputation? I was there.
They're very good. Heart attack on a bun. Very good, though.
Have you ever had their mojitos?
No.
Very good, man. Had them in Miami.
Let's go.
On the beach.
Next week,
really good.
Mojito week for the podcast.
I'll bring mojito stuff.
We'll just make mojitos. We'll sit mojitos on the show.
I'm down for that.
Hawaiian shirts too. So we'll be in her.
I'll bring my Hawaiian shirt.
You can borrow a Sox Hawaiian shirt if you need one.
No, I'll bring my own Hawaiian shirt.
Okay, sounds good. Mojitos, Hawaiian shirt. Cowboy hat.
Cowboy hat. I'll bring a straw hat because I don't have
it. Straw hat. It has to be. It can't be a normal baseball hat, Bob.
A backwards baseball hat.
No,
all right, I got you, man.
Okay.
No, coolest stadium for me. I think the Atlanta Falcons, the Mercedes-Benz Dome is like.
Oh, dude, that is a cool field, man.
Plus, all the stuff, like how cheap everything is in there too.
Okay, if we haven't visited, Raiders. I got to go to their new stadium
in Vegas.
Yeah, dude, it's really cool.
Do they have a pool anywhere in that stadium?
I don't know.
Because Jacksonville.
They have a nightclub in the end zone, though. Yeah. Like,
we will be coming live.
Because Jacksonville has a pool.
We should have waited. Gone to that Bears.
Did you see tickets for that?
No,
started at like $700.
Oh yeah, dude. That's
sorry, Bobby. That's doing that. I can't sell all my Doge on that.
Lucky for me, the coolest stadium I think is also the coolest stadium I've been to. It's Camden Yards for Baltimore Orioles.
I do like the layout of
it. For the simple fact is they have that warehouse in the back.
Wait, so you've been there?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
I've been to every MLB stadium east.
Yeah, east some of us have it.
Except for all the closest ones. I haven't been to Cincinnati, Cleveland, Detroit, or Miami. I think those are the only ones we've missed.
Oh, one of my buddies went to Cincinnati, like
weekend ballpark.
Yeah, dude, he said it was really cool.
But yeah, the funniest thing is it's like got such an American name, but it's a sponsorship.
Okay, no, that's what. So I've never been there, but like we've driven past. I want to say Cincinnati or Cleveland, because when you go over to the East Coast, you drive like the highway goes right along it. So like that's a pretty cool stadium where you could see into it. But also Camden Yards, where that like warehouse is on like in right field.
Yeah, that's our office.
Every time someone hits a home run, they will track where it landed, and they'll put like if it's like David Ortiz has a couple, they put a ball there, they put the date, the game, the score, and how far the home run was. So like there's some Cal Ripken Jr. has a couple out there. There's like a little baseball like play. I don't know if they stopped doing it recently because like
I wouldn't know. I've never been there.
Absolutely covered, but they have like David Ortiz, like Carlton, like because that's an older stadium. Like all the way back then, they have just a bunch of different guys that just hit home runs out there, and it's all cobblestone stuff. That's one of the coolest things. But like you wouldn't see like if you're just looking at it from like on TV, you're not going to notice that. So like that's a cool thing that just looked like I saw.
I know how it feels to be left out. Just like when you guys didn't invite me to Tennessee.
Shut up.
Where did that come from?
What are you doing? What?
I will know how it feels like to be left out when you guys go to Vegas. Even though I got invited, I just
we asked you.
Wait a second.
But I won't be there.
Dick.
Yeah, Bobby, you're
wow.
Yeah.
How rude. Okay, I think that'll do it for us, though. Yeah. Any closing remarks, Bobby? Any closing remarks?
No. I think it's about to be about.
I just want to check the score of the White Sox game.
They're losing 6-3. I just checked it.
Nice, dude.
The meltdown. This team, man.
Garrett Crochet, 4 earned runs in 0 innings pitched.
Tough.
Trade him and Eloy. Brandon Frazier.
But you know what?
Yeah, let's do Brandon Frazier with this game. Let's see.
Yeah, we'll end. Yeah, we'll end.
3 at bats, 2 runs, 1 hit, 1 walk, 1 RBI.
Eloy
Crochet. Brandon Frazier. No problem.
Stop it.
But I do want to give a huge shout out to ASAP Network. We're glad to be here. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, we appreciate it. Guys, if you like what you heard or saw, please follow us on Facebook. Give us a like, follow, or smash that like button and subscribe on YouTube. like I said, at
comment down below to beat the algorithm.
Yeah, help us beat the algorithm. At 100,000 subscribers, we'll be doing a PlayStation 5 giveaway.
By the time we get that, it's going to be like the PlayStation 9's coming out. It's going to cost like $12.
That's the point, Nick. Don't tell them we're secret. But please, guys, follow us on Twitter at GTS Podcast 1. Still no email interactions. I've given up on that one.
You're done checking every day?
What?
You done checking every day?
Yeah. I've checked every day. I'm over it now. But thank you guys for listening. We'll talk to you next week.
See ya.
See you.